Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a huge, almost invisible revolution that's happening right now in the arteries of global trade. We're talking about smart ports and how they are totally reshaping the way our world is connected.
Just look at this map. These bright lines aren't just shipping routes, they're the lifeblood of our modern economy. And at the very heart of it all are the ports, these massive hubs where everything converges. To really get a handle on our world, you have to understand ports. And right now, they're going through a pretty radical change, from just being simple harbors to becoming intelligent, thinking ecosystems. So before a port could ever get smart, it had to evolve. Let's take a quick look at what a port even is and how that whole idea has completely flipped over the last 100 years or so. Okay, so at its most basic level, a port is just an interchange point. It's that critical spot where cargo, packed into those big metal boxes we all recognize, gets off a ship and onto a truck or a train to finish its journey. It's pretty much the ultimate logistics crossroads.
But that simple idea has changed a lot. Check out this timeline. Back in 1923, a port was literally just a place for ships. Fast forward to 2001, and we started calling it a node in a supply chain. By 2011, it's a logistic platform. You see the shift? It went from being a physical place to a strategic piece of a much bigger network. And that change in thinking is what really set the stage for the next big leap.
So that brings us to the main event. What exactly makes a port smart? Because as we're about to see, it's way more than just concrete and giant cranes.
A smart port is one that's using technology. We're talking automation, AI, the Internet of Things, the whole shebang, to solve today's big challenges. And here's the key thing. The smart part isn't really the tech itself. It's about how that tech is used to harness data, making everything faster, more efficient, and way more valuable.
So why even bother with all this? Well, the pressure is coming from pretty much everywhere. It's coming from us. As consumers, we want to know exactly where our package is right now. Businesses that are shipping fragile or sensitive stuff, they need to guarantee it arrives perfectly. And of course, everyone is trying to cut costs and get things delivered faster. Going smart isn't really a choice anymore. It's just the necessary answer to what the modern world demands.
And this all leads to a totally new way of looking at a port. It's not one thing. It's a deeply connected ecosystem, kind of like a central nervous system for global trade, coordinating dozens and dozens of different players.
Now, what's so wild about this is just how complex it is. You've got shipping agents, customs officials, terminal operators, the harbor master, even the truck traffic outside the port. In the old days, getting all of them on the same page was a nightmare. But now, a central port authority can use data analytics to make sure every single one of those interactions is optimized. It turns what could be total chaos into this finely tuned orchestra. Now, a transformation like this doesn't just happen overnight. It unfolds in 4 pretty clear stages. It starts small, at the internal level, with just one company fixing its own stuff. Then it grows to the port level, and then to the entire port community working together. But the end goal? That's the hyper-connected level, where every single person, every organization, and everything, from a crane to a single container, is linked into one giant virtual system.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. So how does this all actually work? Let's do a quick rundown of the core technologies that are really the brains behind the whole operation.
All right, first up, artificial intelligence and the digital twin. The easiest way to think about this is that the AI is the brain. It learns from all the data to automate really complex decisions. The digital twin? That's the port's virtual body, a perfect, real-time simulation of the entire port. You can use it to test out new ideas, plan operations, whatever you want, without ever having to move a single real-world container. It's pretty cool.
Next, we've got the Internet of Things, or IoT and blockchain. Think of IoT devices as the port's eyes and ears. They're this huge network of sensors on everything, from the cranes to the cargo, and they are constantly collecting data. Then you have blockchain, which acts like a super secure, unchangeable digital notebook, letting all those different players we talked about share information with total trust and transparency.
And look, this isn't just some theory or science fiction. This tech is already out there, being used all over the world, and the impact it's having on entire economies is just staggering. And you can see just how big this revolution is right here on this map. From LA to Rotterdam to Shanghai, automated port terminals are already up and running, or they're being built as we speak. This is absolutely a global movement.
Let's just take the port of Rotterdam for a second. In 1 year, it generated enough value to account for 6.2% of the entire Dutch GDP. And to do that, it handled a truly mind-boggling 469 million tons of cargo.
Now let's hop over to the Port of Singapore, another giant in the industry. In that same year, it processed an incredible 36.6 million standard shipping containers. And the economic punch that packs is just immense. When you put it all together, Singapore's port and all its related maritime operations, which employ about 170,000 people, they contribute a full 7% to the nation's GDP. I mean, that's directly fueling the country's prosperity.
And there's a really simple logic to who adopts this tech first. This graph here shows it perfectly. The biggest ports, the ones handling the most containers, like Singapore and Rotterdam, they're the ones leading the way. And why is that? Well, when you're operating at that kind of massive scale, you pretty much have to invest in these technologies just to keep everything from grinding to a halt.
So we've seen ports go from being these simple harbors to these vast, interconnected, thinking ecosystems. They're the unseen engines of our global world, and they're getting smarter and faster every single day. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. As these nerve centers of trade keep transforming, how are they going to reshape the world right here on our own doorstep?